Welcome to Path to Awakening. Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm your host. I'm an empath, an energy healer, and a chosen one.
The embassy, it's in our DNA.
So, what to expect on this pathway to awakening, this path to awakening? Well, first of all, it's going to be different for everybody. Um, it's not going to be easy. It's a lot of struggles, a lot of challenges, but in the end, it's so worthwhile. Um, my path, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about. I know I talk a lot about myself, so if you want me to shut up, I will. But I just want to tell you a little bit about my path and how I got here. Um, Basically, all I wanted to do was just be a Reiki practitioner. Well, no, I didn't just want to be a Reiki practitioner. I started off doing uh, a career in film and television. Like I said, I may have mentioned that before. And but all the time I was following that career path, I knew there was something greater that I should be doing. Not because I'm greater than anybody else, but I just knew there was something else that I should be doing. And it was fun when I was doing it. I enjoyed it. I got to do a lot of travel. I got to meet a lot of wonderful people. I had fun, but I never really, I, I just knew that it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing for the rest of my life. And I'd always been involved some way, somehow, been around metaphysical situations with people and just always had an interest. It always piqued my interest. And so one day I was at the end of my acting career when I knew I was done. I was just finished. I knew I didn't want to do anymore. And during that time, both of my parents were getting up in age, and my father was getting ready to pass, and my mom was looking after him. And so I decided at that point that I was going to kind of scale back a little bit because I was helping her quite a bit. And what happened was is during my father's passing, while that was happening, I had another ascension, and it really everything kind of flipped. And the thing is too is that you never really understand life until you lose a parent. It's one of those things where it's the strangest thing that happens when that happens to you. And in and around that time of losing my father, this happened to me as well. And it was crazy. It was full on crazy time for me. And so I needed to find something that, well, luckily at that time, I had just started doing Reiki. I had just started doing my first level of Reiki. And so it actually helped me to process the fact of my father's passing and the fact that we had had a difficult relationship, that kind of thing. And so it kind of grew from there. And then after my dad passed, my mom moved in with us and lived with us, and I took care of her. And I was still doing the Reiki. And I have to say that doing that healing during that time was really, really important, and it was really helpful because it helped me to come to grips with a lot of the things that I hadn't healed with in my childhood and even in my adult life. And it helped me deal with that. It gave me a new perspective. It enabled me to forgive my dad because I was able to see that I, I wasn't angry with him. What had happened was I was able to see it from a different perspective. I was able to see that my dad was only doing the best that he could with the knowledge that he had and the way that he was treated as a child. So I couldn't really get angry at him for that because he didn't know any better. So that enabled me to heal and to move on from that. So when I decided to open my Reiki practice, what happened was it was just one of those things that I just wanted to help people heal, and started doing that, and things started opening up. Spiritual gifts started opening up, And uh, 8 years, 8, 9 years now. And I had no clue that any of this would end up here. I had no clue whatsoever that I would end up here. But it was just, this was the path that was chosen for me. Yeah, there were struggles. And you will have struggles as well, challenges, but there are lessons. Um, and I took from those. I never saw myself as a victim. If anything, it just made me stronger, and it just made me want to just say, okay, you know what? No, you can't do that. And I like to fight for the underdog too. So if I would see anybody being mistreated, I would just go, you can't do that. You can't do that. So a lot of it has to do with just standing up for myself and owning my power and realizing how much strength and how resilient I was and how much power I actually did have through all those challenges that came my way. You're going to have tons of challenges in relationships with people. There are going to be people that leave your life. They may be family members, they may be spouse. I mean, that will happen as well, because what happens is you're changing, you're growing, you're leveling up. You're not the same person that you were before. In fact, they call it quantum jumping, I believe, quantum leaping, quantum jumping. And basically what it is that you've left a timeline behind. You've left behind the person that you were, and now you are now leveling up to a new reality, and you're a new version of yourself, a better version of yourself. And it's growth, it's growing, and that's what happens. And I do find that a lot of people have difficulty with that because we don't want to leave relationships, but sometimes we have to. We don't want to let go of, friendships, family members, but sometimes we have to because it's for your own good. I too had to walk away from family members because I realized that they didn't have my best interests at heart. There was toxicity, and there was a lot of I hate to say it, devil energy there. And I had to kind of just say, okay, this is for my good. This is for me. And the funny thing is that when I walked away from certain family members, and I called one of them up, and I told them exactly, what was happening. And I said that I need to have some space from you, so I'm going to block you. And this person literally exploded at me, and all this hatred came out. And I'm thinking, where the heck that come from? I didn't know you felt that way, but I did, because years prior to that, I always knew when I walked into the room, she would never look me in the eye. And I just went, I had no clue. I even remember saying this to my mom. I said, why does she doesn't like me. And my mom would say, oh, no, that's not true. And I'm like, Mom, she does not like me. And I never realized why, but I do now. It's because these types of people, we trigger them. And when they see a light within you and they see something that you have that they don't have, and it's again like the distraction, they're there to pull you off course. They're there. It's part of the challenge. But if you are certain, not if you're certain, but when you are certain that this is the path that you are going to be taking, this is just par for the course. It's one of those things that will happen to you. You can either use that to fall back into your old ways, because a lot of people do. And I have to admit, I did too. I went back and forth. It's almost one of those things. It's like you cannot straddle the fence. You're either in or you're out, because when you try to do both, it's a tug of war. In order to move forward, you've got to let go. You cannot take everybody with you. There are some people that are meant to travel this path with you, and some people that, okay, it's time for you to go. And it's so weird because I remember as a kid, this is strange, but I don't have any friends from when I was this. I know some people that have had friendships, people in their lives for their entire life, like from their children to adults, and they're still best friends. And for me, it's always been, and I remember thinking this when I was younger, I always used to think I got what I got from them. I had to learn something from this, and now I'm ready to move on. And that's what I did. And I remember I had a certain friend reach out to me about a couple years ago. And I hadn't seen this person. She reached out to me through Facebook, and I hadn't seen her in years. And we grew up together. We were on the same street. And I just remember we got together. We decided we were going to meet for lunch. We met for lunch. And I just remember looking at her, and I'm just thinking, it was good to see you, but bye. um, it was, and it was just not a friendship that needed to move forward because I was somewhere else and she was where she was, which is great. You know, that's what happens. Not all of us are on this path. Like I said, we are the chosen. We're the 1%. Not saying that we're better than you. We're not saying, you know, it's just, it's a different path for us. It's more about serving. It's more about teaching. It's about, I call it guiding. I don't want to teach. I'm not here to throw things at you and say you must, you know, there's not going to be a test after this, okay? So you're all right. But I'm just not one of those types of people that wants to sit there and say you must do this. And no, it's not about that. We have free will. We're free to do what it is that we want to do. But yeah, like I said, everybody's going to have a different type of ride on this path, a different type. We're going to walk a different walk. But we are going to have similar things that happen to us. And like I said, one of those things will be people leaving our life. And but it's okay because in order to have change, you need to clear out. You know, it's like when you're doing a spring cleaning or whatever. You know, some people hoard and they pile stuff on top of stuff and they keep, you know, and nothing ever gets done and they feel stagnant. We are spring cleaning. In order to have the new, you need to get rid of the old. And I don't mean get rid in a bad way, but you need to make space for the new by removing the old, what no longer serves you. You know, some of us tend to hang on to friends that talk down to us or they treat us a certain way. And when they see it that we are elevating and that we are changing, they don't like that. So they'll try to come back and they'll try to say certain things to us that they used to say to us before. And we don't, they want to get a reaction out of us, but we don't give them that reaction. They want to treat us the way they used to treat us when we were whatever age. We're not the same people. And so in that regard too, they'll give up and they'll wander off, or they may stick around and just try to bring you down. And unfortunately, that will happen to a few of you. That will happen. It happened to me for a bit. But again, what is for you is for you. And we all venture off the path and just know that it's okay. As long as you know who you are and what you are, you will come back. You will come back. It's scary because it is the unknown. We're so used to, you know, living our lives a certain way and then everything changes. It's so funny. The other day I was sitting there and again, like I keep saying this, but it's so true. I was sitting there thinking, all I wanted to do was just to just do Reiki and heal people. And look at me now. You know, it's one of those things where life just takes this turn. But then I realized too that spirit, universe, God had a bigger plan for me than what I ever envisioned for myself. So instead of trying to fight it, because a lot of us will try to do that, we try to fight it. We try to you know, let those distractions take us away. We stamp our feet and say, no, I don't want this. I want my life the way it was before. Well, maybe your life before wasn't that great. And so, you know, Spirit's saying, okay, look, come with me. You know, take a risk. It's not even a risk. It's just trusting. Because a lot of us do have a lot of issues with trust. And letting go of the need to control the situation that's happening to you. And just trusting that universe has always got your back, that universe will never lead you astray or put you in harm or any danger whatsoever. And knowing too that at any time you can call your spirit guides, your ancestors. My ancestors are my spirit guides as well as source. I say don't mess with the women in my family because I've got my grandmother, I've got my mother, and I call them my godmothers. I have these 3 women spirit guides that are with me. And the funny thing is that I don't really know anything about my mom's side of the family other than my grandmother and my aunt. But I know that I have these women behind me and I feel their energy and I feel that they are my team. And whenever I'm feeling that little bit of, oh my gosh, I light my candle, I sit in quiet and I meditate and I call them in and I ask to feel their presence and their support. And I ask them for whatever I need at that time, I will ask them, and I feel the response. They've got my back. And so far, they have had my back through every single thing that I've gone through. They've had my back. And so that's what this is about, just knowing that everybody's going to have a different experience on this path. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be straightforward. There's going to be some push and pull. There are going to be a lot of distractions. There's a lot of people that are going to say, you know what, she's crazy. There are a lot of people that are going to pull away from you because they just can't handle what you're talking about. Yeah, it's going to be sad, but again, too, it's going to open up a whole new world for you if you choose to allow it to. It will open up so many wonderful experiences for you. It's led me to be doing this, and I had no clue that this was in my future. Like I said, I had no clue. But again, I decided to let go of the reins and let go of holding on so tightly to what it is that I thought I should be, and allow spirit in to guide me and assist me and say to me, okay, this is what I got for you. And I'm like, okay, I'm along for the ride as long as you got me. And so, yeah, just know that whatever is for you is for you. Whatever is going to happen, have trust and faith. And that, I know that's the hardest thing, because it's like you're putting your trust in the unknown, and you're putting your faith into the unknown. But like I said, source, universe, spirit has always got you, has always got your back. You have nothing to fear. Fear is an illusion. Fear just holds you back from doing what it is that you could be doing. It's just an excuse. Let go of the fear. Fear is just what is put out there to keep us all back and to keep us down, to keep us from not seeing who and what we truly are. It's just an illusion. If they can keep us in fear, then they can hold us back and keep us down. No more. Let go of that fear and know that spirit has got you, and you're not alone. And this community, we're all going through the same thing. We are not alone. So yeah, it's going to be a bumpy ride, but it's also going to be a fun ride. It's going to be an exciting ride. It's going to be a ride that you are just going to be holding on for dear life, because it's just going to be so exciting. So enjoy. That's it. All right, let's do a little clearing meditation. Okay, so what we're going to do is, if you're sitting in a chair, I'd like you to make sure both feet are firmly planted on the floor, on the ground. And if you're laying down, your body is, you're feeling the support of the ground underneath your body. You're going to close your eyes, and also put your palms, your hands on your lap, palms facing up if you're sitting. And you can, if you're laying down, you can put your palms out as well. And I'm just going to hold my hands out. And I'd like you to take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to think of the top of the head, all right, as I just say it all the time. I know it sounds awful, but a garbage receptacle, a garbage can. And the lid is opening up. And that is your crown chakra, okay? Your crown, the top of the head. And while you've got that open, you stepped on the pedal, it's opened up. And now what you're going to do is you're going to visualize a white light from source, from heaven above, like a spotlight. And it's shining, and it's coming down, and it's shining through the top of the head, through the crown. And as it's getting a little bit larger, what it's doing now is it's moving down towards the third eye, which is that spot right between the eyebrows. And as it's there, you can also see a bit of white light too. You can visualize the white light. And some of you may feel a little bit of heat. You could be feeling a little bit of movement, or you may be feeling absolutely nothing at all, but that's okay. It doesn't matter, because you are still receiving. And now you're going to feel that light as it moves down towards the jaw. And you're going to take that light and move it down towards the throat area, the throat chakra. And that's where the Adam's apple is, in that area. And you're going to hold it there for a little bit. And now you're going to bring it back up towards the jaw. And it's going to come up past the nose to the third eye, spot between the eyebrows. And you're going to take it up to the top of the head, to the crown chakra again. And as it's going up now, it's going to slowly start getting smaller and smaller until it ends up like a pinpoint. And it's starting to close off now. And as it starts to close off, you're now going to close that lid, close the crown chakra. And now what you're going to do is I want you to visualize roots growing from the soles of your feet down into the earth. And that's grounding your energy, because we are all energy. And just visualize that anchoring you to the ground. And slowly, I'd like you to take another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And do one more just for wonderful. Through the nose, out through the mouth. And slowly, when you're ready, you're just going to open your eyes. And you're just going to show some gratitude. Just relax, stretch out. And I just want to thank you. Thank you for joining me today in our little discussion. And yeah, I'd love to hear your stories. If you have anything similar, it would be lovely to hear. And it's nice to share and discuss and see where you are on your path to awakening. Have fun, enjoy, take care. Cheers. Bye.
The Embassy, it's in our DNA.